Hey, everybody. First of all, thank you for all the support and watching all the video live stream interviews we've done. I'm pleased and blessed to present Mr. Darren White, board member of the Oakland NAACP. Mr. White, welcome. How you doing?
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to be interviewed by you about this subject.
Absolutely. I got you guys' press release. Oakland NAACP demands immediate termination of Leigh Hanson and Harami after released documents suggest that Tao's office sought to divide the Black community. And talk to me about that. Talk to us about what happened here.
Well, since that press release has happened, Interim Mayor Jenkins has fired both individuals. And I believe more releases are coming. And so for those who don't know, what happened was that during certain meetings, during the time of the recall, they were having discussions about how to, combat the recall. And one of her people were taking handwritten notes, and they've made notes that they wanted to, reach out to certain BP and use them as tokens. And the BP was Black people, right? This is all written, literally, it's in black and white.
Yep.
Literally, you can read it yourself, right? That they were working out a master plan to use the African American community members as tokens, right? For their ill-gotten gains, right? So that was released due to the seizures of information of the former mayor's house and offices being raided. So it was released. We saw that. We were appalled. I had so many calls. My phone has been blowing up since the release of this information and the reports coming out. So we, the executive board, got together, and the Madam President and the attorneys and the people in on our board, they crafted a statement. And then today at 11, we had a press conference at our office in down in Jack London.
And I have, for the purpose of this, I actually have the press release I can put here, and that it's right here, folks. In that, and so what it reads, and I think I'm going to scroll this down a little bit there, and I'll read for you what you can't easily read, but it reads like this. The Oakland branch of the NAACP will hold a press conference Monday, April 7th at 11 o'clock to demand the immediate termination of City of Oakland employees Brandon Harami and Leigh Hanson for their alleged roles in former Mayor Shang Tao's administration, and specifically for allegedly participating in what has now been exposed as a deliberate campaign to target, as you said, and manipulate Black leaders and organizations, aka BP, aka Black people. The release of nearly 1,000 documents tied to the ongoing federal investigation into Tao appears to confirm what many in Oakland's Black community have long suspected. And folks, I remind everybody, even if you don't pay attention to my channel, that on the 22nd of September of 2022, I released a video that said that Shang Tao was a monster. That was before the November election. And I said that she was like Tracy Flick, and that she was out for ambition, and that she had done some things that were untoward, like, for example, altering the timestamp to get her mayoral application in just under the wire, which she said was 10 minutes to 5, but really it was 5:07. I can go on and on and on and on and on. So that all of this has taken this turn, to me, is like no surprise whatsoever. But at any rate, the press, I mean, you can't make this stuff up, folks. The press release says, handwritten notes by Hanson, now serving as chief of staff to interim mayor Kevin Jenkins, outline a cynical strategy. And I can see Kevin is the practitioner of, say, politics. So as soon as this went down, he went, oh no, boot time. So he said, okay, straight up. At any rate, it reads here, the March 2024 memo, I'm not going to repeat what Mr. You said already, but you said it, also identify Black supporters to be used as credible messengers to oppose the recall, and includes a troubling line suggesting a plan to pay attention to Reed, presumed to be former Councilmember Treva Reed. The notes also disclose a plan to mislead the public by undermining the constitutional rights of the recallers to remove Tao from office. This is something else, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Where does the NAACP go from here?
You know, as we met and we talked, our stance is we have to move forward. We know as African Americans that bias, racism, and ignorance exist. And with the new political environment that we're living in now, right? I said in our interview today, it's not only coming from the White House, it's right down the street at City Hall as well, right?
Yes, sir.
So our goal and our mission now is let's never forget, but we have to move forward. We have to figure out who's going to be the next mayor, leader of the city, and hopefully that they will do their best job and be very credible and honorable in their work, right? The two leading candidates are both lifetime members of the Oakland NAACP or the NAACP period, right? But we do not and cannot endorse any candidate, right? So all we can say as a branch is just vote. Whoever you vote for, we can't tell you who to vote for. We won't tell you who to vote for. Go out and vote, because a lot of people put a lot of stock in the national elections, but people, I don't know what city you guys are in. If you're local, is this a local? So you're in Berkeley, you in Vallejo, you in Stockton, Sacramento, what city you're in. Your local politics is very important, because those are the people that you're going to choose to run your city that you're in. And you have to make sure that you get on a vote and put the best people in those seats that you feel that have you and your family, your city's best interest at heart, right? And that's what we're doing right now. We're trying to move forward. You know, we're going to see what this next regime is going to do and how they're going to clean up this $129 million deficit, right? Budget crisis. Some of the issues around not enough police in the city, some of the crime. But I want to say this, brother. With all this being said and being done right now, it's happening in Oakland. Oakland is a beautiful city.
Yes.
I'm born and raised here.
Yes.
Right.
What high school? What high school?
Skyline.
All right. What class?
Class 83.
80.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
wow.
80.
We just missed each other. Titan pride.
Yeah, you were with Libby.
Yes, Libby and I graduated together.
Yeah.
She was my guardian angel cheerleader. I was on the football team. She decorated my locker. Yeah, it's funny how things happen.
Fardella,
right?
All-American at home.
I played for Fardella. Yes,
Hey,
I did.
All-American at home.
So, but the key is Oakland is a beautiful city, and Oakland has issues just like any major city in America. There's good and bad. But right now, our branch wants to focus on the good of Oakland, and and bringing some back of that hometown love for the city, right? No one is going to do it but true Oaklanders, not the new Oaklanders coming in, because they ain't got the soul. They ain't got the soul.
Nope.
Right?
Nope.
You know, this is someone that's working at City Hall, writing those notes, or someone in that meeting saying those things, and she's taking down those notes, right?
Yeah.
And these are people that don't have our best interest at heart. Don't have they're getting a paycheck and having a mentality like that and living in our city.
And don't you think there was nobody in the room that looks like us to be able to say, hey, you know what? That sounds stupid. You know?
Because you know what they're doing? They pocket watching. They're watching their own pocket. They don't want to come out and say anything because, you know, they don't want to lose their money. Don't want to be a whistleblower. But there's no way that as a black man, I'm in a room where someone said that even if it was another black person that said we're gonna use our black folks as tokens, I was like, hold up. You know, so it doesn't matter what race the person that said it, the statement was wrong and it should never have been said. And someone should be smart enough not to even write that down unless they was going to write it down to be a whistleblower.
Yeah, they wrote it down, which means that they had no idea of the gravity of what they were doing. Zero.
And or the gravity of who said it. Because I wouldn't have even written that down. Right? It would have had to be my word against your word. Because it's just ridiculous. But as a branch, we want to move forward. We want our city to get back on its feet and be the great city that it is and it was. We just need to, you know, all come together. And like we all need to come together and work together, starting with our community and us, and then everyone else. But it's time to come together and be one, right? And unify the city, and so we can all live here and prosper and be safe.
Sure. I also had another press release that I got. It was issued April 4th. And it goes like this. Oakland NAACP, I'll put it in the area here so you can have a gander at it. It's so screen here. And there it is. Yeah, that's it. Right there. And it reads, Oakland NAACP urges candidates for mayor to clean up their campaigns. Political campaigns don't have to be dirty, but too often they are. Today's politicians and their backers treat politics like a blood sport, aiming to destroy their opponent's character rather than focusing on real solutions. Unfortunately, that's exactly what we're seeing in the campaigns of the leading candidates for mayor in the upcoming special election to fill the office vacated by the recall of Shang Tao. The campaigns made serious allegations against each other. One side accuses the other of lacking experience in city matters and being a pawn in the unions that drove the budget into crisis. The other side claims its opponent falsely touts endorsements and is supported by wealthy donors. These are just a few of the many negative allegations, many of which are misleading or outright false. But instead of diving further into the back and forth, we want to talk about what really matters, Oakland's future. And this is where I come to you because what I know they've been not only going after each other, but also I think reports of what's called doxing, where I'm not going to get into who did what by name, but one of the candidates or one of the supporter organizations of one of the candidates took the addresses of people associated with the other candidate and put them on social media, stuff like that. And these are both African-American candidates. What does it say about where we are as a people today?
You know what? I'm not. I've heard of that. What you're talking about, right? And that goes on in campaigns for anyone. So when you ask me where does that go for us or as a people, I'm not going to claim that as our people. I'm claiming I'll say that whoever those campaign managers are, that's not a tactic that would come from our community.
Right. Right.
If you understand
Absolutely.
what I'm saying.
I do.
You're
Basically, what you're saying, I'll say it for you. You're saying that Mr. White is saying that when you have consultants who are not from the community, you get behavior like that. And
Correct.
that's exactly 100% true. That's what
Correct.
he's saying.
Correct.
Because that was, yeah. And I know exactly who did it. And that's absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Yeah. And absolutely white, too.
I got a quick question about who was your favorite teacher in Skyline?
Oh, man. I really didn't have one. You know what? Actually, there was a guy named Mr. Rouse.
Yeah, I remember Mr. Rouse. Yeah.
Mr. Rouse traveled the world.
Dave Rouse. Yeah.
Yeah. He traveled the world and documented all his travelings, like to Tibet and to China and Asia. And then he would take pictures and he would show the slides in class, and he would talk about his trip with him and his wife. And he was an interesting guy. And so he was I liked his class. And let's see who else. Mr. Charisma was the science teacher.
Yeah.
He was quirky, but he was nice.
Did you take Mr. Horowitz class, Eugene Horowitz? Economics.
No, I didn't know. I had what's his name? Rockman. I took drafting.
Yeah, Mr.
Rockman. Yeah, 20 building.
Yeah, he was my other favorite teacher. Save for something that I'll just put it out there. I was Skyline's first Black president of the bike club.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And in 79, we had, actually it was 80, we had a new direction we wanted to take.
Mm-hmm.
Myself, my buddy Bill Boyd, also Skyline 80, and the late Lars Frickman, our buddy, and also Skyline 80. And so what happened was Mr. Rockman had Corinne Runge and a couple of other people, and they wanted to go, except Corinne. Corinne was kind of like back and forth, and she was also cute, so it was okay. But anyway, Mr. Rockman insisted on going the traditional route. And what we would do, folks, is we would start in Oakland in the hills at Skyline, ride down and essentially wind up in San Francisco, going down Parnassus, which is a long stretch of road. At any rate, we had a different way of getting there. I insisted on the new way. And Rockman, to my surprise, got really mad. And he goes, "You're the first Black president." Yeah. Wow. Yeah. And so Bill and Lars were both white. And Bill, shaka blonde hair, he talks like, "Oh, I'm Bill Boyd," right? To this day. And Bill and Lars, they said, "What does that have to do with anything?" And Mr. Rockman was so embarrassed that, long story short, he wound up getting me a job with M. Rosenblatt and Son.
Wow.
Naval architects and marine engineers for 2 summers in San Francisco. I did ship checking from to naval vessels. It was a fun job. So yeah, that's one of my many Skyline stories. I was also equipment manager for the football team.
All right, yeah.
And we were going to actually play Castlemont. And the only reason I wanted to be equipment manager was because I had these play ideas. I wanted to get in. I mean, look, I wasn't interested in playing football. I just had this mind that was like coming up plays and stuff. And I remember the first thing is he put me at strong safety in practice. And this is in like summer league. And I figured out that the tight end was going to go out and he was going to hook up. But the back was coming out doing a flare.
Right.
I figured, hey, if he's going to do that, the flanker was actually going to run it out. So I figured that since the outside linebacker
would take the bat.
Yeah, right. But I made a deal with him. We switched up. So what he did was he took the tight end, and I went over to take the back, but I made it look like I was double teaming the flanker.
Right.
And Fardella said, Abraham, what are you doing? And then it worked. He goes, oh. Oh.
Right.
Anyway, that's how I became equipment manager. And then we were headed to play Castlemont. And would you believe I forgot the footballs?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm sitting next to Fardella. Okay. You know Fardella.
Yes.
Right? And I realized as I sat down, I forgot the balls. And so I told him. And he turned so red, he looked like a tomato. And I swear. And he took his clipboard and he was bending it. And he goes, you forgot the balls. How are we supposed to play the game?
Yes, because each team has their own balls that they play with. Yeah. Yep. And Fardella would take the college balls and put the stripe on them. Well, the pro balls and put the stripe on them. So because we have to have either the stripe goes all the way around or halfway. And,
I remember that now. Yeah.
We would use the really, really good balls, and he would put the stripe on them instead of the.
And that was my first game working.
Yeah.
And I did all that. There was two reasons I did it. Not just to get my plays most. I was hot after this cheerleader.
Right. Look at you.
So anyway, hey man, thanks for your time.
Thanks for the time, Titan. Anytime, Brother Abraham. Reach out to me. You have my email now.
Yes, sir.
If you ever need to discuss any, Oakland issues, reach out. I also do a lot of community work. If you go on my Facebook page, which is just Darren White on Facebook, you'll see all the things I do out in the community. I'm a community advocate, and that's one reason why I'm a part of the Oakland NAACP is because, I want to give back to our community, our people, and just help in any way I can.
All right.
Thank you.
You guys had your reunion too, huh?
Yeah, we had our 40th last summer.
Yeah, see, because we hit on the pandemic, we missed it. Yeah. Hey, so I will close this out here. I'll go backstage. Folks, that ends this stream. Subscribe to Zinni62 on YouTube and bookmark OaklandNewsOnline.com and ZinniReport.com. That ends this stream.